Hello on the planet and beyond. My name is Sade, the founder of Between Here and There, a Thrive based consulting business surrounding global hygiene and applications of information technology. It is 2023-07-27 at approximately 1840 here on the East Coast of the United States. And the topic is from one of the shorts that I put up about plastic waste, plastic pollution in our waterways. Okay. So this video is mostly for us to start connecting because each and every one of us is needed in this mission to ensure that we can do this expeditiously as well as it being effective. Because when you start incorporating a service as to it's only a few people that's a part of it that pick up waste and process waste, that can become an issue because there's so much of this planet that is polluted and we need everybody, literally everybody, to be a part of this. So when you go into collection, when you collect the plastic, these are some things that you need to be aware of. Okay. So there's going to be my cause. I'm going to post more information on my website. It's between htllc.com. There's information there about plastic waste as well as what's the mission going to look like as far as the design, right? So when you're collecting plastic, you need to be aware there's different types of plastics, and within knowing there's different types of plastics, they have certain temperatures in which there are certain toxins released as well as certain temperatures needed to even make it into something else, because that's going to be the point. We can't get rid of these plastics. Plastics come from a layer within the earth's crust that is made up of plastic. It's not some foreign material. It's from this planet. It's just a lower level in which we can't really return it back to. I do have some ideas, but I want to um, experiment with those hypotheses before I bring them to you. But I have some ideas as far as plastic elimination. Right now, we're just going to talk about the removal of plastics from the water systems, what types of things we can do with it. Okay, so with the collection piece, getting people involved, I really encourage people to incentivize it. So I get there's nonprofit and there is volunteer nonprofit type of organizations that get people out there, but you won't get as many people just on the volunteer work because a person is volunteering their time, their energy, etc. Some things that some people just don't want to give up or don't have the time or the energy or the money to do so. So incentivize the cleanup. With the cleanup, ensure that you are weighing the plastics for payment. Okay. So when you weigh the plastics, that way you're not going through, oh, you turned in one bottle, so you receive this amount. Nothing like that. A weight will expedite the process in which you can sort the collection. Okay. So someone's bringing it in. You need to have a central location in which you can collect it. My suggestion is having that same location there for at least 3 days minimum. 6 days, 6 days, I'm thinking max 9 days if you really have to push it. But after that, you should be picking up and moving it to a facility in which you can process this. Okay. So the the organization of the plastics needs to be divided into those different types of plastics. So these food grade plastics, things that food came out of, some things that are more industrial like piping and things like that, you need to be able to organize and sort those things out so when you're in the processing process, those things aren't getting mixed in with other ones. Okay. So when you're organizing those plastics, ensure that you have a system set up in which you can clean those plastics. Okay, so water is going to be used again. We're going to see water always, and I'm going to point out water because it's so very important, right? So when you're cleaning these plastics, you need to think about the waste material, the waste water that's going to be created from cleaning those plastics. So I'm going to suggest a biodegradable type soap. So that should be the first barrel. So there should be 3 barrels set up. Okay. So 3 barrels. The first barrel should be a biodegradable type of soap to remove any type of grease and debris on the plastics. Okay. This could be something where there's energy used, so energy into the system, like having a generator out there to where it can tumble and wash around those plastics. Or you can have someone doing that by hand. Make sure they have the proper PPE, which is protective equipment, to ensure that they're not getting anything on their skin or inhaling anything. Ensure that they have what they need to protect themselves. Okay, so cleaning those plastics and biodegradable soaps, moving that over into a solution of baking soda. So the baking soda will remove that last bit of film and debris that is not caught from the biodegradable soaps. And then from there, you'll go into a rinsing process. Okay. And so the rinsing process is going to be, so you're going to end up with 3 barrels of different levels of waste. Okay. And so with seeing, testing and seeing what types of waste you've been exposed to, that is going to give you an indicator of how you're going to handle that waste. So if you've collected a bunch of plastics, say you just collected a bunch of egg crates or something, and they're all plastic, and you took them through that 3-step process of cleaning them, the fourth step is drying. Okay, so step 1, biodegradable soap. Step 2, a baking soda solution. Step 3, it will be like your just clean water. And then the fourth step would be processing it to dry. So laying it out somewhere, almost like hanging it out on a clothing line. Allow it to dry and then store it to where you can move it to a facility where you can process it. And that processing process looks like probably maybe additional sorting, but look, hopefully you've done that on site, so you don't have to move to another site and repeat something that you've already done. You've already introduced the energy into that system of where the people are using their energy to sort it. So make it easier on yourself to already properly sort everything before you move it into the facility. Once in the facility, you're going to want to melt. So that's heat into the system. Heat is going to produce fumes, and those fumes are going to cause environmental issues, breathing concerns. So there's a design that I have, and I want to express to people that are actually interested. So email me if you are interested in understanding how I'm my process of containing those fumes and ensuring that there's a process where we can remove the waste. Okay, so I'm going to be putting out a lot of information here, and you can take the nuggets of it and use your creativity and run wild with it. However, there are a few things I may refrain from speaking on because I don't, there are some people that have malice intent, and this entire mission is of uplifting the planet and therefore its people. So that's why the slogan goes, protect the people, protect the legacy, because you can have land, you can have all these riches, but if something comes along and pollutes that, you're not going to have that legacy that you wish to have. Okay, so processing that in a facility, the environmental aspect, there's environmental concerns when it comes to fumes. Then think about what products you're going to be making, because with those products, they need to be reusable, multiple use. Okay, so not creating something that you just came from. Also think about getting away from textiles, which is clothing, because that's also not good for the system. Polyester plastic on the skin can disrupt your endocrine system. So most of my fabrics are always cotton, silks, wools, anything natural on my skin, because I know the research has been done. It's out there. I'm going to see what, let me make a note and I'm going to drop that in the description to where you can look it up yourself. Um, yeah, I'll put that in. I'll put that information so you can look that up as well. So what products you're going to create, and then also shipping of those products, because we're trying to minimize the environmental impact of what we do. So we don't want to go from picking up plastics from out of the waterways and then we're creating like things that are going to be thrown back in the trash anyway. If you create like maybe an anklet or something, somebody might outgrow it, might not like it, it ends up in the trash and it ends back into that cycle again. So it really didn't alleviate the issue, right? So, and then also like postage and ground travel, boat travel, all those things play into one another, which affects the environment. So think about those things when you are creating your design. And then after you're creating your products, you're probably launching those and selling those, so you're going into the commerce side, right? We need to start thinking about what is going to be the alternative, because we need containers. We need something to contain fluids. We need something to contain anything you could think of. I just think of fluids because I'm more water focused. However, and then with water, it's hard to contain it if it doesn't have a stable container. So it ebbs and flows. What new containers are we going to use? There's quite a few models, and let me make a note to put that in the description as well. There's quite a few models that have been working well in India, where they package their food, they package their drinks in this type of packaging that is eventually degradable. Some of those containers are compostable as well. So that's what we want to start shifting to where we're not going to be able to eliminate plastics from the planet because it's a part of the planet. However, we can eliminate the ways in which we experience plastics. So maybe we if we can take it down from single use plastics to just plastics that are in aircrafts or other inventions like that, that will be great, because it limits the amount of plastics in our landfills, on our land, in our waterways. Excuse me. So we have to come up with solutions, because if we just fix the issue for now, the issue is going to continue rolling, because plastics are still being created and generated and made presently. Okay. So I'm going to do a nice little recap. Give you my email address again. Reach out to me, Sade at between HTLLC at Gmail. Okay. Reach out to me. It's go time. No question is too silly. No place is too far. So let's get to work. I'm excited. Let's do a recap, and I'm gonna move on to the next video. There's a few other things I do want to discuss today, and ensure that we already have those things in the loop. But yeah, so plastic waste, the collection of it, how you're processing the collection, because you want it to be a smooth process. You want to alert people prior to your collection. Your collection locations need to be temporary, a minimum of 3 days so word can actually travel. Max of probably like 9 days if you have to. You don't want to become like a sitting duck any place. There's other places that you can maneuver to get more coverage, right? The organization of it, after you've cleaned it, you're processing it, how to eliminate fumes being into the being an environmental issue by burning the plastic waste, and what type of new containers are we creating. So I hope that answered everything. I only have 15-minute sessions, so drop me an email, drop me a comment, like, share, subscribe, and I thank you for your time. Enjoy yourself.